Hello, good morning everyone. How are you? I hope that you all are fit and fine. I am Nima Dabi, your science teacher. Today we will do the remaining portion of our last period. Before that, let's see what is the thought of the day. So, thought of the day is always end the day with a positive thought. No matter how hard things were, tomorrow's fresh opportunity to make it. It means that whatever you have faced, whatever the hard thing you have faced, just end it with the positive thought and wait for the tomorrow. Start that day with the fresh thought, with the positive thought, and the opportunity to make it better. All right, students? So, let's start our chapter. So, students, today we will study chapter number 7 Adaptations in Plants, Part 3. Adaptations in Plants, Part 3. Before that, let's see what we had studied in earlier period. Let's do a quick revision of Part 2. What we had studied in earlier period, let's revise it. In part 2, we had studied about terrestrial plants. Okay, what are terrestrial plants? So, the plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants, and depending on the condition in which they grow. So, there are different kinds of terrestrial plants. They are plants in deserts, plants in the hills, plants in the plains, and plants in the marshy places. So, number 1, plants in desert. Yes, we have learned about this, that the soil of desert is very dry because there is very little water there in the deserts, right? Because rain rarely occurs in the desert. Still, plants and animals survive in the desert, right, students? And we have also learned about cactus and mesquite bush. How they survive in this desert without water. Cactus have roots that spread out just under the surface of soil, in search of water. And the mesquite bush has a root that grow down to more than 20 meter in search of water. By this way, they survive in the desert. As we know that hills area are very cold, right? The atmosphere of the hill area is very cold. So here the shape of the trees are very tall. They are very tall and they are cone in shape. That's why that trees are known as coniferous trees. Okay, and we have also learned about evergreen trees and deciduous trees in plants in hills. Okay, so the next is, now the third is plants in plains. Okay, in regular basis we used to see this kinds of plants. Example, people, mango, banyan tree, right? These kinds of trees come in the categories of plants in plains. Now let's see the next one. The fourth one is plants in marshy place. Okay, in this category, the root of plant that grow above the soil, because the roots do not get air as water cover the soil. That's why this kind of root is known as breathing root. Alright, students? Now let's start our topic, aquatic plant. So student, what is aquatic? The word aquatic, what comes in your mind? Yes, it should be related to water, right? So the aquatic plant, the plant that grow in water are called aquatic plant. The plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. So there are three types of aquatic plants. They are floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. Floating plants, fixed plants, and underwater plants. Okay, let's see first number floating plants. Now, number 1 is floating plants. The word floating itself means floating, यानी कि तैरना. Floating plants means जो plants पानी में तैरते हैं. Alright, some plants like the duckweed, water lettuce, and water hyacinth float freely on top of water. This kind of plants float freely on the top of water. They are floating plants. Alright, the plants, they freely float in the top of the water is known as floating plants. Their bodies are like a sponge and have empty space filled with air. This makes the plant लाइट इनफ टू फ्लोट. जो इस प्लांट की जो बॉडीज होती है वो स्पंज जैसी होती है. ऑल राइट, सो ये उसको हेल्प करती है कि वो पानी में अच्छे से तैर सके. दैट्स वाई दिस काइंड ऑफ प्लांट आर नोन एज फ्लोटिंग प्लांट्स. लेट्स सी नंबर सेकेंड. नाउ द सेकेंड वन इज फिक्स्ड प्लांट. द वर्ड फिक्स्ड इटसेल्फ मीन्स एक जगह रहना. ऑल राइट, सो द प्लांट्स लाइक वाटर लिली and lotus have that fix the plant to bottom of ponds and lake. ओके, जो वाटर लिली और लोटस प्लांट होते हैं उनके जो रूट्स होते हैं वो नीचे बॉटम पॉन्ड्स और लेक के बॉटम पर फिक्स होते हैं. दे आर कॉल्ड फिक्स प्लांट. They have plate-like leaves that float on the surface of water. Have you ever seen the lotus in the pond or in the lake? You have seen they have a very big leaves. Okay, they have a just like a plate. They are having leaves just like a plate. All right, the stomata in the leaves are on the upper side. The stem are hollow and light. This help the leaves to float. जो stomata होता है इस वाटर लिली का, लोटस का, ये अपर साइड में होता है. ओके, और जो स्टेम होती है वो हॉलो और लाइट होती है, सो दैट दे कैन ईजिली फ्लोट इन द वाटर. ओके, द स्टेम आर ऑल्सो very flexible. They bend with the flow of water and make sure that the leaves are always above the water. Okay? Now, let's see number third. The third is underwater plant. Plant such as hydrilla and tape grass live completely under water. They are called submerged or underwater plant. The hydrilla plant and the tape grass plant live inside the water. That's why these are known as underwater plant. Now, they have narrow, thin leaves with no stomata. This kind of plants have very narrow and thin leaves, okay, and they don't have stomata. The plants breathe through their body surface. The plants absorb the carbon dioxide given out by the animals living in the water. This kind of plants take carbon dioxide from the animals, the animals which are living in the water. The stem are flexible and have air space. Okay, hope you understand the meaning of aquatic plants. All right, students. So our next topic is insectivorous plants. So students, you have learned in the previous chapter about plants why minerals are important for plants. So in insectivorous plants, some plants grow in soil that is poor in mineral. Some plants grow in soil that is poor in mineral. So how they will get mineral? So to get the minerals, they trap and eat insects. Right? To get the minerals, they trap and eat insects. Such plants are called insectivorous plants. Okay, students, hope you all are getting me. What are insectivorous plants? Some plants grow in soil that is poor in minerals. To get the minerals, they trap and eat insects. Such plants are called insectivorous plant. These are the two examples of insectivorous plant. Venus flytrap and pitcher plant are example of insectivorous plants. Now first, the Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap has leaves that are folded in half. Okay? When an insect sit on the leaf, the two halves of the leaf close shut. Okay? The trapped insect is then digested. Alright students? Now the pitcher plant. The pitcher plant has leaves that look like a container. As you can see in the picture, it looks like a container with lid. There is a liquid inside the container. Insects that fall into the container are trapped and digested. By this way, the insectivorous plant trapped and eat the insect to get minerals. So, Our next topic is fungi. The things that grow on the slice of bread. You can see the things that growing on the slice of bread is called mold. Mold is a living thing that does not have chlorophyll and cannot make its own food. It's get its food from the substance on which it grow. As you can see in this bread slice, okay, the mold is there. Mold is a living thing that does not have chlorophyll and cannot make its own food. So it gets its own food from the substance on which it grow. All right. So from another picture, you can see it is a picture of mushroom. Mold are example of fungi. Mushroom are also fungi. Fungi gets their food from plants or animal. All right, you have earlier also have learned about fungi, about mushrooms, about mold. Okay, so these are all fungi. Students, fungi is neither plant nor animal. They belong to their own group. Some kind of fungi are used to make food, just like bread, cheese, frizzy drinks. You all are eating fungi in any of this kind. Yes, we have already studied about this fungi in the chapter number 3, Teeth and Microbes. Right, student? That fungi is used in many of the things which we are eating. Okay? So, here we had completed our chapter. Thank you so much, student, for your kind support. I hope you understood this chapter. So I will see you in the next period. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Stay home, stay safe. Bye.